Jim, Chris, what do you mean by ABBA flavored? Interesting. What's the connection with ABBA? So I'm just looking for some replacement parts here. Okay, I found my replacement parts. Looks like I need to zoom out a bit. That should suffice. Everything's just going wrong at the moment. That's weird. These are another pack of the buttons, but they're not the original pack because the original pack should be open. Oh, weird. Alright. It's a Atari 85. Ah, boy. Alright. Well, the problem that I've been running into is that, with these, some buttons are working, some are not, and I'm fairly sure it's due to the fact that when I judiciously fill in the legs, the holes, so that it's nice and secure, I'm fairly sure that the heat is actually causing damage to the inner membranes, and that is why I'm having intermittent sort of failures. And that's a colossal pain in the ass because I have sent out quite a few of these and it was just bad luck. It had never happened to one of the ones I was using, but when I put them into manufacture, I gotta admit I didn't really stop and double check everything each time. I just sort of ran out. Anyway, so it's a screw up, and I'm gonna have to fix that up. It's a very embarrassing screw up too. The timing is piss poor. So basically, I just need to plug each one of these, and we're going to lose our USB-C meter for this. Come on. So when I plug these in, I should get... The red light means nothing really. Hey Scoot, civil up, Andrew. I'll bring up a terminal window. Okay. So if I click one button, okay, so the middle button works for this, enter, and the right button works, but the first one, which I'm clicking now, that should be shift tab. Yes, enter works, tab works, but oh, there we go. See, it's intermittent. And actually I might go quad display for this. And if I short the terminals, it should do it. You're gonna work for me? You're not gonna work. You're gonna really wreck my day, hey? At least I'm pretty bloody sure it's... Oh. Okay. Okay, so that's not working. Yeah, see, as I touch it, it jumps. Okay. So that's no good. I'll have to replace that one. It's a schlepping pain in the ass. Hey, Michael's piss poor would not be doing anything in the one just sent out. Yeah. Well, it's just a... Like I said, the timing is awful. Just awful. I don't have any paying customers for these, but yeah, these are all gift kits. But the trouble is I'm supposed to go and talk to Lewis soon about the grand successes of these things, and now it's certainly not looking like that. B-Blood, these are for open board data capture. It just makes they're not essential, but it just makes it easier for when you're capturing data off the board. Oh dear God, yeah, you see, I really went to town with the soldering on these. Starting to think it might be faster for me to actually literally cut them out, because I'm just going to go through a hell of a lot of wick. Yeah, it's going to be easier for me to cut them out. Now, Francis, the trouble is, you know, I've had enough of this sort of bullshit failures in my manufacturing already. And I actually have experienced this once in the past with one of my previous products with tactile switches. Some tactile switches don't seem to suffer it, but my bad, these ones did. Yeah, they got cooked. There's a little sort of plastic membrane in there, and I think it just overheats and it loses its ability to do the job. Kind of like me when I'm nervous. Okay. Wait, which flippin' leg am I holding? Oh yeah, it is that one. This is taking a lot longer than I want. See, what doesn't help is that tip is too broad to go through the hole. By the time I actually become fluent at doing this, I will have done them all. Hi Falcon, Keith. I can't really use the toothpick or the little probe method because of the fact that I've got to get the heat in there anyway. This will teach me for doing soldering properly on connections. So that's what it came down to in the end, is that I properly soldered well, I shouldn't say properly. I aggressively soldered the switches on because I didn't want them fatiguing on their legs and coming out. But as a consequence of that, I ruined them. Yeah, we'll consider this leg day. And the worst bit is a bunch of them are international shipments. And there is a fairly high minimum shipment cost. Like I said, it's not the first time I've had to do an international type recall, but this one's just not appropriate. Why do I get the feeling these are different? Alright, so let's see how quickly we can destroy these ones. So basically what was happening before is I was filling up the entire hole, like so, which you normally would. But I think I'll just go for a light one-sided fill like that now. It's enough to make contact, and then I'm going to rely on the mechanical sort of bulging of the legs to do the rest. Okay, so everything now works on that one. Turning my head away because I don't really want little bits of metal flying up into my face. Alright, so we go to the next one. Oh wow, is that really all three of them? What a train wreck. All three of them on that one. Okay, shift tab on that one. I just realised I can probably speed up the process by only clipping 2 of the legs and then pulling out the other ones. Yeah. Would have been easier if this was surface mount. Yeah, Andrew, surface mount, like I said, I have got provision for various options around here. Many different options, but like I've even got ones here. So I've got there's one there, internal 6 by yeah, I think there's 6mm ones. These are the 12, and then smaller again here. Hey there, Graham. Yeah. I had an F-up day. Basically, I cooked my tactiles. I went too crazy with the iron and just wrecked them. Funnily enough, there's a good number of them actually went into the UK. And a few to the United States. So it's a fairly solid international screw-up. I wonder if I should use my sucker tool. There we go, this will be a blast from the past. Where's my sucker tool? Come on, where are you? Ah, there you are. Yeah. Yeah, that's a sad looking sucker tool. Let's see if I can actually do it. Man, 40 years old, it doesn't suck so well anymore. Oop, sounds like someone's clogged up. Just like... So, oh no, my O-rings have failed. Ah, no thanks, Graham. I use these things once in a blue moon. Yeah, it's a little choked up. There's probably solder here from the era of the dinosaurs. I actually gotta be careful. Yeah, that's seriously caked up. Looks like I just could do with some tender loving care and something like that. I can actually remove these. In there. Inhale all this lead dust. I think maybe it is time I retired this thing. That's all solder, I think. Yes, it is. That solder has probably been halfway around the world. It's certainly been to South Africa. That looks like that's flux, based on the rather smokiness of it. Oh, that's actually, yeah. No, I don't need a solver sucker. Like I said, this thing I've had for 40 years. I use it maybe once every 3 years. And finally it just needed to be cleaned out. That's all. It just wanted to clean, that's all it needs. It'll be good. It will be good. Ooh, starting to squeak, that's a good sign. So you can see all the wear of the paint away from over the years. I'm actually quite amazed that those O-rings are still in perfectly good condition. Oh yeah. That's gonna work. I don't have... Oh yeah, I actually have got oil. Haha, here we go. I would have preferred to have put some sort of grease on there. I don't know where my... I suppose I could put Vaseline actually. That's good enough. It's not really needing that much lubrication. That's why it's used for leaded solder. The leaded solder lubricates it. Alexandria, no good. So I'm gonna have to find myself a 165. I would love to pay somebody to make a SMC upgrade USB stick that you just plug it in, you boot, and it asks you which firmware do you want to put onto the SMC, and that's it. Yeah, nothing fancy, nothing. You just boot, pick your firmware, and press the button. Shoot, that's aggressive. It's like 14-year-old me all over again. Yeah, that recoil is so aggressive I can't control it. Try from the backside. Yeah. I can't control this anymore. It's very powerful, but I think the nozzle's kind of... Well, that was fun. Moving on, we're going to go back to wick. And no, don't send me a solder sucker, please. Like I said, it's very rare for me to need to use them. So believe me, it will just be a tool that will fill up my workshop with no great need. If anyone sends me a solder sucker, I'll send it back. Now I've got to clean all the dust off this though. It used to work really well for things like, pin through circuit boards. The old two-sided stuff with huge resistors, and it does work on motherboards every now and then. But it's a little bit of an overkill for this sort of thing. For that sort of work, you probably want to use one of those slower release units. The ones that have got the really long plastic handle and you crank it up, that sort of thing works a bit better in those scenarios. Like I said, I really don't use them. I really won't. I do not use them enough to get one. And the electric ones, that's just another tool on the desk that I won't use. More space, takes too long for not enough situations. It's better for me to just waste a bit of wick. Actually, I've got some gnarly goot wick that I can waste on this. The goot wick might do the job. I think this goot wick's been waiting for its day for the last decade. It's probably not even real. What a colossal mess. Yeah, you can see, so that's why I don't like those solder suckers. See that? It just delaminates the board so easily. And that's not just because it's these surface mount boards, it's just all boards that recoil wrecks things very quickly. Okay. Wow. Shut up, Gecko. Oh, shit, sorry. Actually, I don't know why that didn't switch over. Oh, must be the software is not running. Alright. Now things should actually run properly. What can be frustrating too with these situations is that the time required to do the rework can often exceed the time to build a new one. But often you don't have the resources on hand to do a new run. Like maybe you don't have enough boards, maybe they just can be issues. I'm not worried about that delamination over there. It's not going to come into play. Hey, Vladimir. Yeah, so I'm just being really quick now. What if you try a newer installer than Mojave? Oh, I could try it and see how it goes. Oh wait, no, I did. After the Mojave didn't do it, I did the Shift Opt R to get the latest version, and it went up to Big Sur, and it still no good. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Okay, left button. Okay, good. Enter. Yep. Okay, the button's working. Graham, this is used for capturing open board data. Let's see if I can demonstrate it. It's basically, it's just a keyboard that has tab, enter, shift, tab, enter, and tab just across there. And if I bring up open board data, flexboard view, schematics. So we take a 165. Oops, I want that. And let me find something that if I can always back out of this anyway. Okay, so say if you got this, you're putting data, and normally there'd be a multimeter. So can I get the multimeter values up? That's a belief. Okay, cool. Diode mode. Okay, it's in diode mode now. Anyway, so if you're on that value and you're under the microscope, let's see if I could above quad, yeah, and you're under the microscope and you've got the probe on one hand, putting it onto the various places on the board, and then you got this in the other hand. And so as you probe, damn it, I'm just going to have to do this in real life. It's all your fault, Graham. Okay, we've got one that we can verify here. This is actually a 3437, but we'll do it for the sake of this, since we don't actually have to worry about... Yeah, this will do it. Okay, I'll switch back in a sec. Okay, so that's our part. Quad display. And I need a ground gripper. The multimeter. By the way, for people who have got the kits, the reason why I'm sending the multi-cable kit is because you can do things like put the alligator clip on the end, and that lets you grab onto something ground. And I just realised that in diode mode you do it the other way around, you moron. Okay, let's see if this even works. Okay, so you can see the values coming up there, and so if you want to accept that, you just click the middle button. I said you just click the middle button, don't be a jerk now. My mouse button there. Yep. Middle button, click, and then you go to the next one, click. Okay, click. I feel like I've got these. So anyway, these are actually wrong. Let's try that again. Okay, enter, enter. That's because they're both the same. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a way you can, with two hands, very quickly do a lot of points. And I really haven't demonstrated that well enough here. But that's why, that's there. You can use a normal keyboard. You can just use the enter key or the tab key or whatever. But sometimes it's easy to have that in your hand and just go click, 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 click. I did originally do it as a foot switch, but I found that the foot switch just didn't pan out as well as I thought. It's one of the fun things when you're doing prototyping and such, is that many a time you'll have this vision of what it's going to work, and then you actually use it and you're like, well, that's not going to work. Okay. Beep for store, beep. Yeah, you could do the beeping, I suppose. I haven't done audio stuff in SDL or anything like that. Never tried it. Okay. Something I could explore, I suppose. Okay, tab works, enter works. It looks like shift tab doesn't work. Okay, so it's this one here that's not working. Well, the flashing LED, you may have noticed if you look back on that video that when I enter it, it flashes. So that I did implement, but I haven't got an audio thing. Okay, V-Blood. Oh wow, man. Yeah, you see, I really went overboard with that whole soldering thing. But I could do an audio entry thing. I just never have done it, so I don't know how it will work out. But it's worth a shot, I suppose. You know, it's not like it's a complete rewrite of anything. It's just a case of adding. There we go. This is the professional way of removing tactile switches. It's how I do it when I'm replacing them in my mice. Speaking of which, this mouse needs to have one replaced in it. There we go. Like I said, we're going to be professional removers by the time we get to the end of this, at which time it will no longer be applicable. Oh wow, yeah, there is so much solder in those holes. I reckon someone at one of the slave labor factories, they could probably do 10 push buttons with the amount I put in one hole. They'd be looking at me like I look at Lewis when he uses flux. It's like, why the excess? Why? You're killing us. I know it's out of focus. Unfortunately, the height of the board on one side is going to be different to the other. Ugly flux. Flux ugly. Ugly. Speaking of ugly things, today I tore away the makeshift bathroom cabinet that I put up 20 years ago. Because 20 years ago there was an evaluation done on this house for remortgaging. Or at least I seem to remember it being that. And so we just had to go around and quickly do a house flip kind of thing where you just cover up all the crap and hope the bank doesn't notice. And of course, as usual, that never got replaced with a proper cabinet thereafter. And so finally I took it away, and my goodness, that was interesting. There were some scary things living there. Very scary things. How does the media input work in Flex mode? Front source, all it is the meter software just drops a text file. In this case, it's called data. Let's see if I can find it. Where are you? Oh wait, I know why. Okay, basically, anyway, the software drops a the multimeter software drops a little text file called data. It just contains the value and the units. And what happens is, until let's see, Flexboard, we will then look for that file, and if it finds it, it will pick it up, read it, and delete it. And then as soon as it's deleted, the multimeter, the next time it comes around, it will see that it's deleted, and it will then put the next value down, and so on. So it's a little bit messy. It's a little bit archaic. It's not the modern day bling bling message passing. You know, to be fair, that's not actually modern day. That's like 40 years old in the Unix realm. But the nice thing about it is that it's extremely portable and predictable, and that's how it works. So it's basically the multimeter software does a dead drop of the data, Flexboard view picks it up, the multimeter software comes back, sees that it's gone, puts it down again, and just does that non-stop. Okay, test this again. I haven't seen Travis, and no, I'm not responsible for anything. Okay, that's good. It's working. By the way, apologies if the color seems all wrong on the overhead. I'm having a lot of dramas with it. Okay, in this case, it's that one there. Simpler than calling a library and no license. Yeah, that is. Yeah, funny you should mention that. That's actually one of the big reasons why I do that, is because the dead drop system doesn't violate various licenses. I mean, even though I am the author of the multimeter software, in these cases, if there's like a GPL system out there that wants to talk, then it can still do that by using the dead drop system. Some people may argue that that's kind of that is still in violation of the spirit of the GPL, and yeah, I would concede maybe they have a point, but quite frankly, I think sometimes you've got to just. Oh, what the hell's that? Just heard something. I'll be back. Did you just hear banging? I heard a boom, boom. The front corner. Where the hell's my torch when I need it?
The twins are
So
accounted
a
for.
20 it's accounted for? Okay. Yeah.
There was a cat fight earlier.
Okay. I don't know.
Someone was in the front pen. I don't know whether it was Tabby, but Tabby hasn't been fighting with them lately.
No.
So I think it's got a...
Tabby too?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe it was them jumping up at the window or something?
Maybe. There was a motorbike that was going along there. I don't know whether it like made a noise, like a clunk or
backfired or something? Or didn't quite sound like... no, I don't know. Loki, what you doing, buddy? Sorry, I figured if I hear noises...
It's best to check.
Yeah. Momo? You okay, buddy? Micro's in our office, so... Yeah. Hello, Loki. What you doing, buddy? All right. Yeah, I've got to catch up now with what I missed. Let's see. Oh wow, people called GIMP plugins? Wow, okay. By the way, Micro's already had his shot earlier before I started the stream. Alright. So what are we going to do now? Oh yeah, that's right, I've got to desolder these. But yeah, so the data dead drop system, like I said, it's simple, it's slow, but it works. Some people do feel like it's a little bit of it causes a bit of file system thrashing, but realistically, not that bad. Yeah, but it's not like we're in the frickin' 70s where you got your drum drive and you're waiting for it to spin back around to the next position, or even a spinning rust drive. So I concede that there are definitely more elegant ways of doing it, absolutely, but I just wanted something that was simple, cross-platform compatible, very easy for anyone to implement, and very easy to debug and test. And I feel like the dead drop system does that perfectly well. I mean, we still use serial ports, for goodness sake, at 9600 bps, so I think my dead drop gets to live. I think sometimes people get too obsessed with making sure they're using the latest, greatest programming techniques, protocols, or whatever, and forgetting that, yeah, there is a reason that the whole Unix type philosophy still persists to this day, and pretty much is just getting stronger and stronger. Oh wow, that's a complete rip-up. Unfortunately, that's just a ground pad, but yeah, that's a pretty brutal rip. But yeah, Francis, yeah, if Sigrock, yeah, if someone could write a patch or something like that, that would let it do such a thing, then that would open up a lot of meters. And that way, you see, I don't have to then program anything into Flexboard View, nor OpenBoard View when they eventually write OpenBoard Data plugin. I don't know when they're going to do that. Someone needs to do it. It can't, or shouldn't be me. There's fresh young blood on that project that could do it. Referring to Flash ROM. Oh, okay, sorry. Sigrok has a command line interface, so it should be easy as a bash one-liner. Okay, yeah, okay, that could work, yep. I've never looked at Sigrok myself, as in seriously, because, you know, it had support for a lot of the meters I used, but I always just wanted to write the very base fundamental interface software for like what we can't see at the moment. Let's see, meter, power supply. Like, yeah, these utilities up here, I know that they are already, I could have done that through Sigrok if I wanted, but I wanted to have very simple utilities, and so I did it myself. Okay, that works, enter works, that works. Okay, so we've got another fixed one. By the way, with these boards, I've got a whole bunch of just prototyping areas under here, and you've got the programming interface here. So if people want to do different things with these boards, it's got the tiny 45 or 25, I forgot which one it is. Yeah, there's a lot of areas to mess around with on that board if you wanted to. Okay, we've got one more to go here, at least ones I got left in stock. Nuts and proud, yes, keeping it simple is kind of my way of doing things. Okay, nothing. Oh, wow, you didn't even come up. What happened there? Okay, try that. That works. No enter. Okay, so we've got a double loss on this one. That's annoying. Let's see, Francis wrote a Sigrok driver for bench power supply. Seems to have, that takes some time to merge stuff. Okay, well, that's to be expected, in all honesty. I mean, it's a big project these days, so I imagine they're sort of trying to avoid wrecking the existing setup. Not that, you know, your plugin would have done that, or that's not what I'm saying. I just know that when you get to the point where you've got a stable product, or a fairly stable product, oh flip, that got me in the eye almost, you do tend to be very restrictive on making changes too quickly, because it almost always bites you in the back. Almost always. Come on, Paul, walk it out. It's very naughty doing this. Very unprofessional, walking connections out like this. You're supposed to put it under a proper desoldering station and you know that. Oh yeah, see, this is why it's naughty, because you rip up pads. Oh, that one I actually did F up. Okay, that was extra naughty. It will be okay though, because even though, well, basically because the contact between this line and the pad is still there, so that's all that matters. But yeah, that was a little bit naughty. It's funny, because I actually thought I was taking my time with that one. nuts and proud. I had to bite the bullet and use use a beep to make a Braille 8-key keyboard that pretended to be a USB HID keyboard for 100% blind friend. Which library did you use? Did you use the VUSB one? Because that's what I use for these. Oh, come on, man. Don't be like this. Wow, I feel like a completely useless robot. The clamps. It was that library, yeah. It's a very useful library, and what I really love about it is the fact there are so many examples, project examples there. It's near impossible to come up with a project that they haven't already done. But yeah, this was done using the initially the 1-key keyboard project that they've got. That was the original reference, and then I found they had a 4-key keyboard one, and I upgraded to that. So that's what I'm using for this. And yeah, it's such a nice library to use. It's predictable, works well, compact. It's everything you want. I mean, it's ancient as hell, but it works. And yeah, being an HID, at least it should work on all operating systems. Should. In theory. Theories are great. Until they don't work. Now I'm gonna have to click this damn thing off. Fransos, there's a... It's called VUSB by OBDev, I believe it's the company or the group that did it. But yeah, it's a very nice library that gives you a lot of USB sort of utilities. They're all like USB 1.1 or whatever, 1.2. But it covers so many of the things that we do on a daily basis. So yeah, well worth getting accustomed to it. I need to donate some money to them too. But I don't know if you can anymore, that's the trouble. It's like I went looking the other day and I'm pretty sure they sort of said no, but I could be wrong, but I could have sworn they said they weren't taking donations anymore or something. Or it's been handed off to another group. I can't remember now. I mean, I don't make any money out of this, but I'd still want to thank them for all the work that they've done and how it's helped me with many other projects. It's a bit like with ImGUI, the visual interface library that I use for Flexboard View, and that's also used for OpenBoard View. I donate to that. I also donate to DD Rescue, the GNU one. Let's see. There's a fair number of projects I donate to. Anything that basically, if I find a project that suits my needs and it's not profoundly complicated to get to work, yeah, if it's one of those kind of things where it just sort of just feels like it naturally comes together, and if it adds value to what I'm doing, then by goodness, yeah, I donate as soon as I can. Because I need more people to produce that kind of stuff, particularly people who produce BSD or MIT type license stuff. Well, there's several features in DD Rescue that are the ones that I wanted. I wrote the implementations, and then Antinov, I forget his name. But yeah, so I wrote implementations. I submitted them for the features I wanted on DD Rescue. This is many years ago. And then he recoded them himself. And he's one of the few people I have encountered who openly admit to doing that. Like, many a time you will get people who submit a patch and you understand the idea of what they're trying to do, but you find it less trouble to go along and encode it yourself from scratch rather than to use their pull request or their submission. Antiov, no, it's not the connector name. No, I'm talking about the guy's name. But anyway, yeah. So it's easier for you to sort of go, okay, I like the idea that you've submitted, but I'm going to re-encode it, just do the code myself. So you've essentially given me the idea, and I'm just implementing it. And I can understand some people get upset with that because they're thinking, you know what, I coded that. Oh, that got me in the mouth. I coded that and you're not putting that code in your code, and that's not fair. But I think realistically, it often ends up better that way, because then the code has a consistent feel and a consistent design style. Because one of the big dramas of having multiple contributors to a code base is that everybody's got their own design. Even if you are strict with the formatting and things like that, you end up spending so much time just dealing with back and forth of like, oh look, can you rewrite this so that it uses this variable format and whatever not. And yeah, it's just easier to do it yourself. So in DD Rescue, there's the X flag for exiting when there's an error. There's the rate logging. What else was there? Oh, there was the reopening, the O feature flag. There's about 4 or 5 different things in DD Rescue that I pushed in. But like I said, I submitted mine, but then he rewrote it to his own style. But, what the hell? That damaged too? Did I damage that one again? Wow, these are really, really fickle switches. Because that one's damaged. Unless I incorrectly replaced that one. I think I must have accidentally got the wrong ones. That was definitely... Is there a problem there? Is there a problem here, officer? That's the originals. And these are the 2 replacements. That works. This one does not appear to work. There's definitely a solder contact there. Yeah, these switches are turning into a real pain. I mean, I know they can be sensitive, but these ones are just absurdly... It's not like I've been sitting on them for 5 seconds or more. Oh, okay, no, I was wrong. It is that one that's dead. So it was all 3. I was going to say, you know, I really did not sit on those switches for long when I was soldering them in, so I was going to be exceedingly disappointed in the quality of them. I should bust one open to see what they're like inside. Hey, you're not kidding, Nuts and Prouds. You're not kidding. Because I know with the former project that I had, I would get it maybe... actually, I'm on the wrong side for this. 1 out of every 20, so about a 5% failure rate of the switches. And it was tolerable because there was, you know, only 2 switches on the device, or 2 tactile switches. So, you know, it was tolerable, and well, I didn't really have a lot of choice, and it was the only real switches I could find that were close to what I wanted. But it did take a couple of frustrating... Geez, that was difficult to get out. Well, these ones I got from Farnell, but I mean, I could have got them from RS as well. I don't have any problem with Farnell, Element 14, whatever you want to call them. They're very... I've been with them for, I don't know, well, close to 20 years now, I'd say. I think it's just in general, it's getting hard to determine what switches are going to be good or not. Ah, come on. Anyway, well, at least I know I've just got to be a bit more of a fairy touch with these. At least they're not as bad as the iPhone 7 triple coil packs. What do they call them? The Trinity pack, is it? Trinity or Trident pack, I can't remember. But either way, you go near those things with the soldering iron and they just all of a sudden go open circuit on you. You know what, Graham, I actually don't know. I think that's like 380 or something like that. Yeah, 380. The problem, Graham, is that what I was doing is I was doing a full flood fill on the legs. So like I really wanted them to be secure. So I would sit here and I'd just like feed solder in until it fills up the hole. But it's it clearly doesn't like me doing that. So now I'm just doing essentially a surface layer of solder and that's it. Just like that. So it doesn't actually fill the hole up properly, but at the same time it doesn't destroy the membrane, so I guess we all have to make compromises. Meter the switch before... Well, it's definitely a thermally induced failure. Yeah, Graham, it's like I said, I've encountered it in the past with some other manufacturing work that I've done, but it's never been a problem until now again. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, so we're all good again. It just seems like I was just pushing the boundary a little bit too far with the soaked flood fill. Yeah, fair enough. My mistake. At least we fixed it now, but it does mean I have to recall the others and send out replacements. So that's a bit of a pain. That's, you know, like another couple $100 worth of freight easily. It's just the way it goes. Yeah, sometimes you make these mistakes in manufacturing, and you can either pull an apple and tell people that they're pressing it wrong, or you can own up to it, be a chump and not get rich. So it looks like I'm going for option B there. You know what, we should actually open up one of them and have a look and see what the damage is, given that they're quite large, these ones, so it's worth having a looky-loo. That's the other thing, given the size of them, I thought they would have a pretty good tolerance. But it seems I was wrong. Okay, let's knock their knobs off. So I'm not quite sure what I'm expecting. I don't know whether I'm going to be looking for the plastic membrane itself to be distorted, or whether I'm looking for a disconnection between the legs and... yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah, see, this is where it stumps me. Because obviously there's not enough heat to do any sort of damage to this plastic assembly, so, you know, that still feels good. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get to see how those legs are making contact. They do love their Captain tape for this sort of stuff. You know, people mock me for hot glue and stuff, but here we have tactile switches are just basically metal suspended between Captain tape. And there's no real damage there. Not the stuff that could cause it to no longer contact between there and there. Yeah, that looks perfectly good. So whatever's happening, it's somewhere between these legs. It just doesn't make sense, because I would imagine that this plate here, the one that's the middle plate, would just be a single sheet of metal. Maybe it distorts the dome or something, I don't know. Let's see what it's going to do under the meter. So, I'm not sure which bit's which, but I'm assuming... okay, so that's open. Let's see. Okay. That's good. I can only assume that for some reason... no, look, I just can't understand what's going on. But it definitely happens. It's like, does the dome get distorted or does it lose conductivity? So the conductivity is perfectly fine there. Yeah, so that's making... Oh, there, no. Okay, that's interesting. But that really shouldn't matter any... Okay. Now, clearly it's some sort of distortion that occurs due to the heat, and it's just enough to wreck the contact. And probably by disassembling it and shifting everything around, I've made it work again. Yeah, something goes on. You know, maybe the captain drifts a little bit. I suppose we could have tested it and sort of went, well, what if we heat it again, but have the button pressed while it's heating? To like see if we can sort of recenter it, as it were. All I know is that the easiest way to fix it for me is to replace the switch. Right. Pain in the ass that was, and it's already past midnight. Well, at least I got some to send out, so I'll be able to get them replaced for people quickly. In the meantime, they can just use their keyboard and then come to the realization that using these key fobs is much nicer. What is this one doing out? Why haven't I done this one? That one's my prototype. That's another proto board. I need to get some more of these done. It's version 3, version 3, version 3. Okay, so I've got another 3 I can make up. I could do this one as well, like I said, but this was my build prototype. It's got the tiny 85 on it. So that'd be a little bit of a waste. Oh, here we go, I've got another board. So I got another 4. That should just cover me for my requirements so that people can get on with capturing board values. By the way, anyone interested, I do have, I think I've got about 5 packages left of for the open board data. So if you are interested in doing the very drudgery type work of capturing data, let me know. You get yourself a multimeter, a copy of Flexboard View, and one of the maybe not quite so faulty keypad things like that. Graham, even if you're interested, if you feel like, or if you want to make Caradog do all the hard work, let me know. I can send them over. Just send me an email, pldaniels@gmail.com. Let me know what boards you've got, what sort of data you think you can capture. Doesn't have to be a lot. You just have to contribute something, because I need to be able to report that to Lewis, and so that Lewis doesn't kick my ass too much. Let's see, and it doesn't have to be MacBooks. Like if you've got a board view and a schematic for another device, and you feel like say you got a Nintendo Switch, or I don't know what other board views and schematics are out there that people are using, but if you have them and you want to collect some open board data for it, let me know. I'll get things rolling for you and have one of them sent out to you. Graham, even if it's only one system, if you've got a board view schematic and you've got one of the systems that are working and you can take diode modes or resistance or voltage measurements for it, that's worth it. Believe me, that's worth it. That's all we need, because we just got to get 1 or 2 each time, and it adds up. It starts snowballing. We have something like 30,000 entries right now. Actually, that's not true. It's about 28,000 entries on, I think it's about 98 boards. We need more, because at the moment it's mostly iPhones and MacBooks. We need to spread out a bit more. Yeah, alright, Graham, well, send me an email or send me a message with your delivery address and I'll organise that for you. You've already got a license to Flex Board View, so I can actually push that off to someone else. So you sort of get a half kit, as it were. And maybe if Fransos there, if you're still around, if you can find a way for SIGROC, am I even saying that right? If they can produce this mmdata.txt file, then that would open up things to a tremendous number of multimeters, because at the moment I'm only using the ones that I have written software for. But if we can find a way to open it up to a great number of multimeters, then I'm interested. I can send you a kit too. So yeah. Alright, one thing I want to see if I can find another 165 logic board. So that's 3437, that's a working one. .165s unfortunately have become a bit like hen's teeth for me around here. Oops. So 3437s I've got coming out of the wazoo. 3437, 3437, 3437, which is why I was doing the transfer with the SMC from a 3437, because supposedly it should work, but I've always run the problem with the sound not working, and yet again that's happened. So it's probably going to be quicker for me to just replace that SMC with a 165 if I can find such a thing. Yeah, I'll definitely run out of 165s. I need to order another 10 or something from AliExpress, or maybe I can just order the SMCs. The only thing is, I often find that there are other parts on the boards that are useful, so it is kind of worth having the complete board rather than just the SMC only. Okay. Okay, come on, man. Perhaps realistically the thing I should be doing is teaching myself how to do the proper SMC migration flashing through the EFI boot stick. I've got a lot of 165 boards. I don't have a lot of 165 SMCs anymore. That's the problem. All of them have had the SMCs stripped clean off them. 3437, 3115. I'm just kind of hoping I might have a SMC at the point where I'm actually willing to sort of try. That's another one there. 1502 is no good to us. Wish I would label things more consistently. 3437. Oh well, that's a baseband CPU. 840. 165 down, no good. That's definitely the wrong one. Straight away I can tell. Another 840. Alright, so we've got two possible 165s there. Both possibly no good. Fransos, yes there is, but it's... I'm lacking reading comprehension. And as a consequence, I look at... I know it sounds silly being a programmer, but sometimes I just look at guides that are written and I just sort of blank over and like, yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, the SMC changeover guide is actually, it's on the wiki. So it's there, but the problem is this one. The problem is not the lack of data, the problem is the lack of brains to convert that data into a working chip. But that's why I'm saying I would be happy to pay a couple $100 for someone. Seriously, I'm very serious about this. Yeah, I am more than happy to pay someone a couple $100 to create say like a 16 gigabyte USB stick image that we can just burn using DD Rescue or whatever, and that would be done once, and then so you can just boot from that, and then it will say which SMC image do you want to flash to it, and you go, I'll take that one please, and it does it. That's the way to make things work. Yeah, that's the way to make things progress, is that you make it as simple as damned possible to do that task. The simpler you can make the task, the more likely it's going to succeed and progress. Jim, yeah, I can ship to Brazil. I cannot guarantee it will arrive unmolested or stolen, but I can ship to Brazil. Send me an email. Niemand. Buy a cuck. I have no idea if this SMZ is any good. Yeah, Graham, that's the other thing, the whole ME region stuff on MacBooks too. I just look around for a clean ME region image, like an 8 megabyte or 4 megabyte image. I just do that, and then from that I can use the EFI tool to change the serial number, and then make sure the checksum's okay. All that stuff I can do. But actually going in and cleaning the the ME region, all that sort of stuff, I hate it, but I gloss over. I just gloss right over, and I'm like, that's it, no, can't do it. I really hate it because I never used to have that tendency. I used to just eat up every bit of information I could find. But it seems I've gotten older or something and lazy. I think laziness is more the key issue there rather than getting old. Old is just an excuse. Oh, Pianov's here. Pianov, yeah, I don't know if you heard my offer there, but yeah, I'm more than happy to pay a couple $100 if someone can create a USB stick image that'll allow us to just, like, say I've done a what am I doing here? I don't know. Say I've put a 3437 SMC onto a 165 board and I need to update it to work properly. But obviously I can boot. I would like to be able to just boot from a USB stick, and then it comes up for an option, so what do you want to flash to, and I can say I'll take the 165 please, and that's it. I don't want to know the technical details or anything like that. I just want to be able to boot and update. And like I said, more than happy to pay a couple $100 for that, and it will go free to everybody. So I'll pay for it and everybody else can use it. That's my offer. But it has to be that you just boot from it and then pick from a list which firmware you want. Like I said, I know it sounds crazy coming from a guy who spends all his life in Linux and loves the command line, but sometimes you're just too busy doing other stuff that you don't want to have to get down into the nitty-gritty with everything in your life. That's why I pay people to do my tiling for me. Because I can do the tiling, but I don't want to do the tiling. Hey Jose, well we've done with the open board data boards, but yeah, we're working on something else now. Sorry. There's a way to extract full firmware of some SMC, but I think there's still nobody who's actually done it, flashing it and compatible. Hey Michael Chan. Oh crap! That reminds me, I didn't do my Duolingo tonight. God damn it! I'm going to lose my 25-day streak. Hey Birdboat. Andrew, I really don't want to think it's getting old. I really want to just think I'm busy with so many other things that I need to simplify where I can. I mean, I already put enough effort into learning new stuff most days, but there's always new APIs for me to learn, new languages, new everything, new problems. I can't go and learn everything. I need someone to simplify other areas. And like I said, the money's there on the table. Okay? I'm serious. The money is there on the table. If someone can do that. Hell, you know what? Even if I'll make it easier. Make it so it's just for the 3437 SMC put onto a 165 board. How's that? If you can make that just a plug in, boot and go, I will pay for that. That's simple. Okay, I don't want to have to fish around and decode existing updates and stuff like that. I just want to plug the USB stick in, hold down the option key, select it to boot, and it goes through and it says, we are now updating your 3437 SMC to a 165 firmware. Please stand by. And at the end of it, it says, complete. Please turn off your machine and remove the stick. That's it. That's all I want. And it actually has to work. I thought I'd better stipulate that in case some smart ass out there decides, hey, we can script that. You didn't say it had to work. Yeah, I've dealt with people like that before. What's really scary though is that in spite of money being on the table and all that sort of stuff, and someone obviously should be able to do that, I can be fairly certain that no one's going to take that up. It's almost guaranteed nobody is going to be able to take that up. Okay, why are you guys all winking at me? Hey, Eric. Well, Eric, here's their chance. Oh wow, I've got 2 balls missing. Wait, that sounds wrong. I mean, on the SMC. Because it's this in particular, the 3437 to 165 conversion. What the hell is going on here? Did I forget to wash off the flux? Did I forget to wash the flux off? Or did I do something dumb like put I don't know. Where's this all coming from? Oh, that's a cluster job. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. people who have seen me do this before know that it just this just doesn't happen. And so I don't know what I've done wrong here. I think I must have left flux on the board or something like that. Yeah, it really feels like I've left flux on here somewhere. Yeah, well, we'll just go at it slow. Graham, sometimes I feel like though they don't actually want to do that kind of tool because it's I'm not talking about those two particular people, but you often get the case where people define themselves a lot by what they can do that other people can't. I mean, I suppose we all do. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that it's really not in their personal interest to make it easy for other people. It's like when Linux started to become popular in the late 90s, and there was a substantial exodus away from Linux, and everybody started running, these people started running over to various BSD forms because there was less public exposure, it was less cool, less popular. Yep, that's it. This goddamn thing there's clearly something wrong here, and I'm just going to have to redo it. I don't know where all that flux came from, but it's wrecking everything. See, it's not even on there. It's not even on the SMC itself. It's just from somewhere else. And the other thing is they don't even want to provide it as a service half the time. It's kind of like a superior, powerful Magic Gathering card that they never want to play. They just keep it in the little glass box and say, I've got this superior Magic card. I'm never going to use it, but I've got it. Okay, I'm being unkind right now. I will admit, I am being unkind. I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated because I feel like something like that should have been something that someone out there has created, and I'm more than willing to pay for it. And could I do it? Probably. Should I do it? No. I'm busy doing other stuff that other people haven't done. I'm doing my part. I need someone else to do their part too. Yeah, Vladimir, I don't know what happened because, the holder's not that contaminated with flux. It was like there was sort of a magical hidden well of flux somewhere. All I know is it ruined it. Panov, if you can create a boot stick like that to do the SMC update, I mean, like I said, it's all listed out on the wiki. Like I say, I'm more than happy. The money will come right out of my own pocket. It's not going to be Futo's money or Lewis's money or anything like that. It'll be my pocket money. Like I said, more than happy to spend it because it will save me a lot of money in the long run. Because it means I don't have to keep buying just 165 boards and things like that all the time. Instead, I can utilize 3437s and 165s. It's a bit like how having the part find feature on the software lets you utilize a whole lot more of what you already have. Yeah, the reason why I need them is because, like I said, you often run short of the 165s but you almost always have 34, 37s lying around. I would say that is probably 90% of the use case of such a thing. Alright, let's try that again. Like I say, I really don't know how I mucked that one up. I did, but I don't know how. There, here it comes again. It must be... I'm just going to stay away and let it burn off a bit. Just tried something new there. I tried heating the flux before it actually got to the stencil. And it looks like it might have actually helped. So basically the theory there is that by heating the flux before it even gets to the stencil, the viscosity is much lower, and so it, when also contributed, hit by the heat of the stencil and the chip itself, it will spread much quicker. Yeah, that definitely went a lot nicer than usual. Because the reason why you get the pop out at times, like whenever I'll be applying flux and then heat it back up again and the balls will start jumping out, the reason why you get that is because there's too much flux. The density of the flux is too much all around. But by preheating the flux, it lowers that viscosity and it spreads out a lot further before it actually lands. Or I should say it spreads out once it lands. Anyway, getting confused with my words. Wonder how many we're going to lose. No, actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think I'll have to try that next time. Optimize, yeah, I'm working on that once I can get my CNC machine running. So that's another thing. It's like I'm busy trying to make tools for that sort of thing. I don't have time to sit around and learn from scratch all the EFI, SMC, firmware stuff. You know, someone else already knows enough of that information to be able to produce what we need. Twang! Goodness, lots of free-flowing balls around here. Eric, yep, alright, you do that then. I don't know if you're being serious or not. I'm equally gullible to you all. Except maybe Travis or Pedro. Now there's probably about a 90% chance that SMC is no good. Yeah, high chance of that. I gotta find this board. Where is it? It's in the freaking... I just need to take this board out. Unfortunately, I was stupid and put it back into the chassis and everything. I just realised I'm being an idiot. I need to be up at 6 in the morning because I've got an air conditioner being installed and the guy's going to be here at 7. Oh well. Good thing my wife married me for my looks, not for my brains. Anybody heard from Justin lately, as in the Art of Electronics guy, Justin? I haven't seen him around for ages. I mean, he used to do fairly regular videos and then just vanished. Yeah, Greg, yeah. It'd be nice to have that kind of thing here. We barely made it into spring before the gates of hell opened up on us. Got too much flux down there. He's just disappeared. Yeah. I'll try and see if I can get in touch with him on Facebook and all that, but I think it was getting away from Facebook. The last I heard from him or about was there was a issue with a copying of what was it? Some tweezers, ceramic tweezers, I believe. And I spoke to him around that time, or just after that kind of popped up. And then I haven't heard from him since. I don't expect him to talk to me, but I haven't even seen any videos or anything come up. He was touring shops in Europe. Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. But yeah, I would have thought by now we would have heard something. I guess you get concerned about these things. Like, I didn't hear from Jason Vollmer of SDS for a while and had to chase him down. Turns out he was just being a jerk. Oh, that's a terrible orientation, SMC. What happened to you? Where are you? That's better. Dance, 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 dance. Oh, they all look good. No, my alcohol. Okay, into the cooling pit. Because I don't even know if this SMC is any good at all. It's still warm, actually. I should have kept it running for a bit longer. Oh, it's cool enough that I can test it, but I probably should have waited for it to cool a little bit more. Let's see, power output. Let's get this MagSafe. Oh, where the hell's my chipmunk? There we go. Very handy, these chipmunks. Well, at least it's a start. It's powering. Let's see if we get a green blink. Yep, okay, alright. Let's see if this one's any good. Maybe we got lucky, and maybe I can actually submit this job back to the customer as a fix, and then I can worry about the 3437 business later. But the thing is, I have to address the 3437 issue as soon as I possibly can, because okay, I've just won myself a 10-minute save, so to speak, but what about the next one that's going to need an SMC? It's frustrating having a whole bunch of 3437s and no 165s left. I mean, realistically, we're not getting very many 3437 type machines in anymore for repairs. People are deciding, you know what, this machine's just now too old for me to bother with. Agree, I know we do get some 1278s coming in now and then, but as a general rule, in terms of actual like weekly type business, the 3437s have just dropped off the cliff. Hell, the 165s are bad enough. The only reason why I've had a couple lately is because they are like the final release ones. Things like the 2017, yeah, they've got the 2.2 gigahertz or the 1.8 gigahertz CPUs in them. Yeah, they're actually still decent machines. But 3437s, they're just going in the trash mostly now, customers. Uh, 3437, they were, I think they stopped production in 2014, was it? Can't remember exactly. So I mean, yeah, okay, they're only 8 years old, but the 165 sort of has dominated. What are we after? After our Mac bootstick. Now I may still have to actually reinstall a macOS on this, just simply so I can get APFS, because I don't know if that 165 chip has an APFS section in it. Okay, no, we've got that same crap that we had last time. This logic board is no good. Something very wrong with this logic board. This is the one we were working on last night, and it would behave after we heated up something, and then it would stop behaving. Yeah, it's stopped behaving again. 150 for 4 tweezers. I gotta admit, I actually paid that sort of level of money once. It probably wasn't the best purchase, but I have done that. Well, I get the feeling this keyboard or whatever is jacked up too. Oh, trackpad's jacked. Because that just booted. Yeah, I think the first sort of set of really professional tweezers I got, I think they were Dumont ones or something like that. And, they came in a nice fancy case and all that sort of stuff. And they were very nice tweezers, except they were like soft as butter. And as soon as I grabbed anything, they just bent. And I was like, great. There's a hell of a lot of money that just bent. And of course, once you bend them, you really can't get them back very easily. So, that's after that. That's when I started spending $5 for a pair of tweezers, and I was happier. I think this trackpad might be misbehaving. The DSO I have is only HPRB, no RS-232. Oh, okay. Isn't HPRB just RS-485, isn't it? Unbalanced. Or is it about 422 is the balanced one. Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. Like I said, I mean, that was 6, 7 years ago now. But Lindstrom, that's the brand it was. Yeah, Lindstrom, and as you said, anti-magnetic, anti-acid, super fine. Yeah, they really talked it up like it was a fine wine. And I used them for about 4 days before I wrecked them, and I was very disappointed in myself about that. But then, after that, I started getting $5 tweezers and accepting that they are, for the most part, a consumable. Alright, I'm going to have a look at the trackpad now at this, because it's either that or it's the keyboard. I'm not sure which yet. If it's the keyboard, that's a pain in the backside. You might as well just get a full deck replacement. I have a feeling it's keyboard. Okay, hate the way that the 1466's keyboard trackpad combination works here. Yeah, this whole blind fold down thing. I can't see any corrosion on there, but it doesn't mean there isn't. And what I hate about these scenarios is that you spend so much time just trying to track down what is and is not functioning, whether it's an intermittent issue, whether it's... Okay, so now it's misbehaving again, and that's just trackpad. So that should actually be automatically booting. It's not, so I'm just going to disconnect the trackpad. And no, still not coming up. Okay. That pretty much settles it. This logic board is no good. I'm fairly sure it's something to do with the CPU because it was related to the sus enable line, I think it was. I can't remember from last night. But yeah, whatever it is, we're waiting for it to come out of the CPU, and it intermittently does. So yeah, this is a no fix, I'm afraid. That's very annoying. Fortunately, yeah, this is a 1.88 gigabyte. Fortunately, the customer, they may be able to source a replacement logic board and continue on with the machine. I'm not going to try and fix it anymore. We've already spent like 4 hours on it. There's way too much time to spend on a board like this, and it's not even for data recovery. So I've mostly just spent the time on here because it was interesting and yeah, made for some chatting here on YouTube. But if this was strictly in a workshop only situation, the moment it started misbehaving with that line that we required that was coming out of the CPU, we basically, even if we were wrong, just chasing it down after we'd already done all the other bits of liquid damage, it was a case of, look, just walk away. Yeah, sunk cost fallacy situation. And that's it. We're walking away from this one now. We've done 3 SMCs on it. I'm done. So yes, I'll get my SMC back because at least we know that probably does work, that one. So that's where it goes. Okay, well, listen, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go and get some rest before the air conditioner man comes along, because he's going to want to talk to me, and I'm going to have to make the right decision on where to put the evaporator unit and all that sort of stuff, and then I've got to deal with the electrician who's got to come along and connect it all. It's going to be fun. So I'm out of here. You all take care. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it as always, and I'll see you when I'm back.